So let's ask Ramesh Damani, one of our favorite boys. You've been seeing him in ads nowadays in black and white as well, but Ramesh is now wearing a nice red kurta for us. Ramesh, a very happy Diwali to you. Is today a day of hope for you, or are you feeling somber going into the next year?
Thanks, Udyan. Happy Diwali to you, Mitali, and of course all your wonderful viewers across this great country of ours. Investors always bullish by nature. I think we are, at some extreme points in the market, we could turn bearish in the market. But generally, I think most of us are bullish not only on the prospects of the companies we own, but also for the future of this country. And it's paradoxical. I mean, the last year has been so bad in terms of the Sensex down 23 to 25% on a year-on-year basis, Diwali to Diwali. But the paradox is that the worst has got the market, the better values are emerging for investors because, stocks are being sold away and they're fairly cheap. So, it's hard to believe that if you buy it at these levels, a broad basket of stocks, you will not do well over a YOY period, Udyan. So, count me in the bullish and optimistic camp.
Good to hear that, Ramesh, and happy Diwali to you. Ironic timing as well for Diwali, Ramesh. Everything is stacked up in this week. We have the Reserve Bank. We've got so much coming in from the global cues. Are you sensing there's a bit of grid unlocking in terms of where things going into next year?
I tell you, the one thing that really surprises me among all this great unlocking that we're talking about is that you look at the price move of the Dow, which sets the pace even today for all the markets, whether it's in Europe or emerging markets. I mean, the Dow is, refusing to go down below a particular level. If you recall in the 2007-8 bear market, the Dow hit about 6,800, 7,000, that level. It hasn't come close to that point yet. It seems just viciously bounced back after a period of time. There's a great amount of leadership in that market, whether it's with a Google or a Facebook or MasterCard. The Dow seems like it's finished its bear market correction. It's now holding its values, and it's probably going to go into the higher end of the range. I mean, if you study the price of the Dow movement, everything being known in the market, it's an amazing conclusion to come to. But I would suggest that it's headed back to its old highs rather than the lows.
Let's ask you some tough questions, Ramesh. Do you think we put in our bottom at 4,700 Nifty or around 15,000 Sensex, or you can't be sure yet?
You can never be sure in the market, but I would be very disappointed if the market were 4,700. I would say that it go up 500 points before it goes back to 4,700. It's hard for me to imagine. The level of apathy that I've seen in this market has been probably the most extreme I've watched over the last 25 years in the market, Udyan. It's like no one wants to own stocks in India. You get an open offer to the public. Whatever is tendered in, the next day the residual stock is down 70%, 80% in value from that price. You go through the shareholder list, almost no one is buying new quantities of share. The level of apathy suggests that the market is not a heavy beast that's going to go down. It's fairly light, and I think buyers will be rewarded over periods of time. I have never seen a market with greater apathy towards domestic investors than I've seen in India over the last 25 years. It's absolutely pathetic that no one is interested in buying stocks in India. And that, as I told you, paradoxically, is a great time to be looking. As Buffett has told us many times, when other people are fearful, you need to be greedy.
We've had competition this year though, Ramesh, whether it's from fixed income or a couple of commodities like metals. To what upside do you approach the next year? If you feel more confident about the fact that we have some kind of base in place, what kind of returns can this market start to even hope to generate?
Mitali, I've never been good at these kind of things. In fact, I don't think anybody is. It's pretty hard to predict that it's 15% or 30%.
This year, Ramesh, trust me, this year everybody is wrong. 22,000 became 20,000 and now it's like, well, maybe 16, we don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember last time this year I was among the bullish votaries saying a new high is imminent. If not today, it'll happen next week. And look where that got us. I can't say that. I'm just saying look at individual companies. Markets could go sideways for periods of time, but companies with strong fundamentals, whether it was domestic consumption theme that attracted a lot of interest and money last year, or the themes that we think will play out for this year, I think individual companies will tend to do well. We strictly focus on individual companies. We try and leave focusing on the market to sitting in a bar or having loose conversations with people. It's not much value added to the investors to try and predict where I think the market's headed period over the next 6 months or a year.
Actually, that's a good point. Asking you about these FMCG stars, Ramesh, like VIP and Titan, and whether you think that's going to start cooling off in terms of the valuations they, enjoy now?
I think so. I mean, you could sense that these things are run ahead of the fundamentals, and so they're correcting. But I think broadly the consumption theme that is attracting, the smart money remains intact, Mithali. I don't think the consumption theme goes away. As I suggested to you in a previous appearance that I made on your television channel, there are various ways to skin a cat. Maybe instead of looking at the headline names like a VIP or Jubilant, you want to look at a packaging company, you want to look at a, media story. There are various ways to skin the consumption story. I think the consumption theme will continue to drive the market, as the headline names probably are, a bit more too expensive right now for my liking.
So Ramesh, one good stock idea for your viewers for Diwali. What have you been buying? What are you bullish on? Just one Diwali token stock idea.
I'll tell you a theme, two themes that we're trying to suggest to investors that they should be taking a look at. The first theme is that if you look at the companies that have changed hands recently, where it's a clean change hand, there's no slump sale, there's absolute clean change of hand. For example, Andhra Pradesh paper mill. Insiders in the paper business bought it at 550. The residual stock now is available at about 160. Now, it doesn't make any sense to me that it should be available after the company has become, transformationally better, a better product line, a better management, a better visibility. The 550 stock is available to investors 160. In a bullish market, the same stock will be trading at a premium, not at a discount. So I think whether it's AP Paper, Camlin, East India Hotels, or even you want to look at the larger cap, something like say a Reliance Capital, where a lot of this higher Nippon has come in and bought in a stake. People are just, in the general apathy, they're just throwing away these stocks without doing a proper fundamental analysis. This is just suggestive. I don't have all these stocks. I do own some of them. But this is a suggestive list that if you look at the deep discounts they are available.
Before you give us your second theme, do you think we could be trying to forge out of this 4,700, 5,200 kind of trading range, and we could extend the range on the way up? You think it's possible over the next few days?
I think we're trying to break out of 50 to 100 range. It's a huge psychological level right now. It's not going to be easy for the market to take it out. But generally looking at the movement of the Dow, it has had every reason to be knocked down. It seems to be very resilient. That means liquidity is alive and well in the market, and good stories are attracting money. My sense is, we will go over that 50 to 100 level. I'm in a minority of this, I understand, but I just can't believe the way the Dow has been performing. The sheer price performance of the Dow suggests that it's ready to lead the better markets higher.
Ish, what's the other theme going into the next year? What is it that you think should be looked at and could be looked at for the next year?
Mithali, I think the next theme is going to warm the hearts of all the brass at CNBC TV 18. I think what is in all the general apathy and pessimism that we've surrounded the market, the cabinet has actually done some work and passed what is called the cable digitization bill. It's it's not received much fanfare, very little attention, but it's a game changer for the broadcasting industry, for the cable industry. It essentially means that Indian television is going to go from analog to digital, and any time an industry moves to analog to digital, whether it was in telecom, whether it was in photography, whether it was in the stock exchanges, it creates a new sets of winners and losers over the next few years, and at a fairly rapid pace. So I think given the fact that the digitization bill is now to become an ordinance soon, I think it's time to look at the media companies, a broad swath, and particularly cherry-pick broadcasting companies that you like within the sphere. I think some cable companies also do well, but particularly the market caps of these broadcasting companies are at pitiful levels compared to the power and influence and the almost franchise values that they enjoy. They really have moats in their businesses. So I think over the next few years, I can't predict whether it's the next 6 months or so, I think the media sectors will tend to be re-rated across this country. I think as we speak, they are trading at absolutely ground floor pathetic valuations. So there's very little downside, and as we see ad GDP grow up, as we see a new consumption boom take place, these are going to be direct beneficiaries of that. So I think as a broad sectoral theme, I would suggest look at the media space.
You have a great year, Ramesh. Hopefully we'll talk on in better times next Diwali. But thank you very much for your time today, and a very happy Diwali once again.